Hello and welcome to Library Salad. Today's episode is Everyone Knows It's a Slinky, brought to you by the Monroeville Public Library in Pennsylvania. Hi, I'm Alice, and there's been a lot of tossing around because we are talking about Slinkies. Plastic, metal, all different kinds. And let's do a little bit of the background of it. Now, you know, there is a book for everything. I got this out of the Monroeville Public Library, and the name of it is The Marvelous Thing That Came from a Spring. And this is by Gilbert Ford. I'm just going to take a couple of things out of it, so no need to go get popcorn. This will not take long, but the best thing you can do if you need a little information, go to the children's department. All right, so gentleman by the name of Richard James. He was a dreamer. And in 1943, he was working as an engineer for the U.S. Navy. And his job was to invent a device that would keep fragile ship equipment from vibrating on choppy seas. See where we're going with this? Okay, so he tried all different kinds of springs. Nothing was really working, but one day, torsion, let's call it, a spring fell off from above, and what did that spring do? It took a walk. He realized there's something more to this, and he decided to bring the spring home, show it to the wife and kids. What does son do? He goes on the steps, and the Slinky walks down for it, and they decide we now have to make this something to share with everybody. Initially, when he goes to all the toy stores, no one's really interested until he finally goes to Gimbel's and just says, please let me just demonstrate it once. They did. Rest is history. You may want to take this out. Fascinating additional information to it. So, all these years, Slinky is still going strong. And during that time, it became so popular, it was even on a stamp. There it is, 33 cents. That's what I mean by going strong, because it's been a little while since it's been 33 cents to send a letter. Thing about Slinky, you don't really initially need a lot of skill to do this. Okay, even if you're gonna go a little crazy like this, that's not a lot, obviously not a lot of skill to do that. And it's cheap. I got this for $1. The metal ones, actually with the Slinky logo, I paid $2.99. Originally when it was made, they kept the cost low because they wanted everybody to have it. Today, still low. At this point, people are not using the Slinky just for toys. We now have Slinky is actually a therapy tool for patients who may have even had a stroke or other disorders. So it's part of the therapy. Slinky was launched into space, it's true, on the shuttle Discovery to help the astronauts actually determine how gravity works. Answer to how that worked, didn't work well. The Slinky did not perform the way it does here on Earth, and it was actually a little loopy. There's a lot more than just playing that you can do with the Slinky. What I did was, I took a metal Slinky, so I bought one, it's true, and decided to make a pumpkin out of it. A couple of helpful hints before I show you exactly how that went. Basically, you can use any of the spray. This happens to be one specifically as a marker because we were having construction done at the library. So we needed it for safety reasons. A little left, here we go. And always change your clothing before you use spray paint. So this is how that went. So on the internet, it said to spray the Slinky with the paint. What we've rigged up is just take a box, cut it, slit it open, and now zip ties are holding both ends down. We're probably gonna have to give it one shot on one side. When it dries, put it over on the other side. But we're just gonna give it a try. I'm gonna sort of move this up a bit so that that covers. Okay, let's see how this goes. That's better than I thought. Dry, we'll be back. And we turned it over, so we're now doing the back end of it that wasn't done before. Put it on the other side. And now let's let it dry. And it's dry. Left it overnight just to be sure. What I did was took one of the cable ties. I would recommend that after you get it into this position, give it a little touch up. All right, so even if you're just giving it a very light spray or spraying onto an old paintbrush, you just give it a little dab, it's gonna have little parts where it may not have exactly covered everything. Now, I'm sure you're saying, oh, that looks just like a pumpkin right now. It does, but we can enhance it with a couple of things. You can also put just a cinnamon stick right in there. So it's only 2 for 1. It's a decoration, it's an air freshener. Or just find yourself a stick, and that's gonna look very nice as the stem. You can also add a little bit of, I had these leaves from last year, so you may have something like this just hanging around, good dollar store. You can add a bow on this if you want. You can also put a cinnamon stick in the back, so you've got the look, you've got the scent. I thought that was a cute little interesting thing to do, very easy. And here's a hack. The Slinkies are very good to use as a trellis. As you can see, the plants, sometimes you may have a stick in it, and plants that have to grow upwards, sometimes they can get a little heavy. But by adding the Slinky in, just make sure that the top of the Slinky is adhered to the top of the pole or whatever you've got. So that way, when it bushes out, it's a little more steady. One other hack is you may have so many of these tops, the plastic tops of them, but sometimes it's like they're all over the place. What you could do, you pretend we don't have this, oh, I don't have to pretend, we'll just pull this right out, is that, let's say this is the back of your cabinet and this is the front of the cabinet, you can simply insert it like that and keep a couple around that, which is making faces. It's not library salad unless Rich is making faces. I know, it's not library salad unless Rich is there going. But there's so many different hacks for these things. So try that, and I hope you give the pumpkin a little try. And we've learned the history, we've learned hacks, and see you in about 2 weeks.